Hi, my name's Lewis. This is the Leave It to the Pros podcast, your go-to source as a realtor for information on water damage and mold to help you sell that house and avoid getting into any legal hot water or just have a house sitting on the market for a long time. All right, with that being said, let's dive into today's episode. And if you find any value from today's video, please make sure to like and subscribe. We're tackling a topic that can turn a straightforward sale into a complex one: mold. Understanding the implications of mold and how to handle it can save you and the seller and even the buyer a great deal of time and money. Mold, it's not just unsightly. It quite frankly is a health hazard and a red flag for home inspections. But fear not. With the right knowledge, selling a home with mold can be entirely manageable. First and foremost, it's essential to just be upfront about the issue. Hiding mold is not ethical. Hiding mold issues is unethical, but it can also lead to legal ramifications and damage your reputation. Transparency is key. Here's what every realtor needs to know and do when it comes to selling a house with mold. While there are no specific federal laws that prevent homeowners from selling mold-infested homes, some state laws do require sellers to disclose all known defects to the buyer, including a history of mold infestation. For example, here in Chicago, where we here at Leave It to the Pros podcast are located, there is no specific law or regulation that necessitates the sellers to disclose mold in real estate transactions. The Illinois Residential Real Property Disclosure Act requires sellers to disclose any known material defects in the property, which may include mold. But even if there are no state laws requiring sellers to disclose these issues, failing to do so can jeopardize the sale, especially if potential buyers uncover the issue before completing the buying process. Besides, sellers can still be sued if mold has been declared a safety or health issue under the local laws in many areas. So if someone is selling a house with mold or they know about a past mold issue in a home that they're selling, they should just go ahead and disclose it. If the disclosure is required in your state and the seller does not do so, they could face legal consequences later on. The responsibility for the seller is to disclose the issue. If there's a defect in the property that would affect the value or the buyer's opinion of the value, such as mold, then go ahead and make sure that you don't get sued by disclosing. When in doubt, just let it all out. Just disclose everything about the property. That's the best practice. If a home buyer purchases a home and soon finds that there is a mold problem, there is a very good chance that he or she could come after the seller with a lawsuit. And that's not something that anybody wants to be a part of, not even the buyer. And this holds true whether the seller knew about the problem and failed to mention it, or they just did not take the time to express and determine if there was a problem before the sale. They may find themselves facing some heavy consequences as well. Lawsuits happen all the time in real estate sales, and whether or not a buyer can sue and win would depend on the state that you're located in. Even if your state has let the buyer beware laws, where sellers do not have to volunteer issues, failing to do so can have broader consequences for your reputation as a realtor, and can leave plenty of room for you to think twice about trying to hide an issue. Let's talk about what the best practices are for dealing with mold infestations and how to handle mold in a home that you have for sale as a realtor. First, we need to assess the situation. This is where you, the realtor, should encourage the seller to hire a certified hygienist for advanced air sampling. This will determine the type of mold and the remediation required. Never guess the extent of mold damage. Always get the facts because you can't really tell what you're looking at. Step 2, you need to contain and mitigate. Work with specialists who can contain and mitigate the mold at its source with state-of-the-art equipment. This is vital to preventing further mold growth. Step 3, that's consistent monitoring. Continuously measure for humidity and mold levels. The property must be safe and pass environmental quality tests before it can be sold. And really, step 4 is what is required for the best results, which is mitigation. So post-mitigation, the property needs to be cleaned thoroughly. This includes HEPA vacuums on furniture, walls, and hard to reach places like crawl space and ventilation systems. And step 5, there's that rigorous post-remediation inspection, wherein after several rounds of cleaning, a final inspection ensures that no mold remains. This might mean cutting away and restoring any severely affected areas, but golly, can I tell you, it's going to be worthwhile. Step 6, that's where you get to cover your butt with some documentation. This is where you should provide all documentation of the remediation process, and this transparency gives potential buyers confidence knowing that the issue was handled professionally. Selling a house with mold can be a challenge, but with these steps, you can navigate the sale with authority and integrity, because you never know when a mold-sensitive buyer may be your next buyer. Armed with this knowledge, you can turn a potential deal breaker into a testament of your commitment to quality and professionalism. And for more insights into successfully navigating real estate sales with property that has water damage, mold infestations, or just other damage that needs to be restored, please subscribe to the Leave It to the Pros podcast, brought to you by ProTech Restoration, Chicago's #1 damage restoration business for nearly 20 years now. And if you're in the Chicago area and you find yourself to be a realtor seeking some partner that can help you with this damage issues that you're facing or the mold that you keep finding in these Chicago houses, please go ahead and go to our website, protechdki.com, and apply for our Trusted Partners program, wherein we can develop a relationship with you, provide additional resources and information that can help you in these sales, and be your trusted partner when these issues arise. Once again, my name's Lewis. This is a Leave It to the Pros podcast, and hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done already. I'll see you guys in the next one.